Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Humanity? Yes, I've come once again, and as usual, the topic we are going to discuss is health. Health of you as an individual, health of your children, health in your communities. I do always speak about health because it's important that if you are healthy, your creations that are bound to get good things or harvest good things. If your health is in a well manageable state, it is also important to know that each and every one of you out there on this on planet Earth are habitants and residents of planet Earth. And within that context of being residents of planet Earth, it's also important to know that everything on planet Earth, every living creation on planet Earth, they are a region, or the region of planet Earth, or planet Mother Earth herself. She is a Muslim. So is the moon in the sky. So is the stars and the entire universe. The region of the entire universe is Islam. Without any question. And with that, in order for human beings to be able to enjoy the beauty that other creations enjoy within the universe, you've got to live by the region from which we are created, and that region is Islam. If you do look back in the at the 11th centuries, whereby men kind of tried as much as they can to enforce a conjectured way of life. And as we saw, there were so many atrocities. There were atrocities including genocide after genocide. There are recorded genocides in those 11th centuries. And there's silent genocides. Recorded genocides have records that on such and such a date, in such and such a year, a genocide started and it took place, a Holocaust, and so on and so on. And also we saw that in those 11th centuries, mankind or human beings did not get anywhere in terms of advancement in knowledge. Instead, they were digging graves after graves for their children, inheriting, 11th centuries, inheriting, the first century, century after the other, inheriting what we call liabilities with costs of death to human beings. Men who thought they were intelligent, they never cared at all. They never cared at all. With that weapon, what they called the advancement in knowledge, were in advancement in how do we exterminate, how do they destroy one another. That includes manufacturing weapons of either mass destruction, and that weapons of mass destruction affect both human beings as well as the environment, that is Mother Planet Earth. So when you look back at 11th centuries and you put that on a scale and say, hey, human beings, where are we? And what does this lead to what if you, many of you, I do believe you have children. You have what you call children, or you are no longer producing children because in the 11th centuries to up to today, there are men who say, we are marabas, we are doctors, we are this and that, we are witches. Those things occurred in before the 11th centuries we are talking about. Those things occurred. There were generations or civilizations which were kind of arrogant, treacherous, and stupid and foolish. And those civilizations were kind of destroyed by Allah or erased from creations, which prompted me to come to planet Earth and say, hey men, hey Christians, you are a people teetering on the blink of extinction. Why? I give you 11 centuries to look back on. Where can you point out and say, according to this and this is what we achieved? If you cannot sit on a table and a Chinese man or an American man or African man or European man and say, oh, we are one community. Because of what? Whatever the conjectured ways, which included promotion of all sorts of dirty theologies, dirty information into children's and men and women's brains. And that information made what we call racism and disease. Because if you are to examine the terminology racism, there is disease in it, very deadly disease. Racism alone is, if you are to open that book of what interprets whatever, there's disease hidden in there. Anything that mankind or human beings do, and those when those those things are against the principles of life, because life is a religion. Life is a religion. And that most holy, beautiful religion is Islam. So when you say you are a racist, you are an insurrectionist, you are a militant, so on and so on and so on. That's when you, because men think, men always have this notion that we are supermen because they drink, when you drink alcohol, it can make you think a lot of things. It takes, what happens is that when you drink alcohol, spiritually, the soul that lives, that Allah puts in a human when He creates him, ejects, because it has to follow divine holy laws of Allah. Allah says if a human being consumes, puts alcohol in their body, you as a soul, you eject and you leave that thing that that man or whatever has been, you stay aside. With that, the man, in modern times, you have people, they use the terminology called zombies. So those people who say they has been a human, they become zombies. Whilst you are in a state of a zombie, your reasoning accountability is none. None, completely none. You can do anything as that abuses your own dignity as the dignity of others. Because in a state of a zombie, you had to break a divine holy law which prohibits men from using alcohol. And once you put alcohol in your body, because everything that Allah created has its, Allah did put laws and laws that guides or restricts those creations to what they can do and what they cannot do. But here on planet Earth, it is men that have become a great concern to us in the upper universe, in the entire universe. because we hear this every day. We see these things going on within a very little thing. When you are to look at what you call a solar system or of planet Earth, it's a very, very tiny thing. But because Islam, because of the most holy, beautiful religion, Islam, and because of life, the universe is a living thing. The universe and whatever is in it are living creations which abide by the holy, divine decrees and laws of Allah in order to stay stable, in order to stay in peace, in order to enjoy the beauty of harmony. Not only human on planet Earth look in the sky and say, oh, that night sky is very beautiful. No. There are other creations out there in outer space who look at the universe and they enjoy and they say, Allah Akbar. Ashhadu alla ilaha illallah. Whereas when we approach this coil, this solar system of planet Earth, and when we use our whatever we see, it's either wobbling all the time. Wobbling means that it's out of its natural whatever that it was commanded to live in. It does not wobble because of it has to, but it's forced by what comes out of men and women on planet Earth. Because they say they are not Muslims. Whereas the solar system itself, this entire solar system itself, is the religion is Islam. The entire system of where planet Earth sits is the religion Islam. But a few crazy men and women, they say their way of life is different. Is different from that of the rest of the entire universe. With that, they've kind of sent countless, you call them countless settlers, they call them settlers, which are within the vicinity of the planet Mother Earth. Those solar settlers are a danger to the rest of, to travelers like me. To travelers like we always visited planet Earth to say to human beings, this is how you should live. You should not use weapons to settle all the matters between one another. Originally, the settlement of whatever Allah decreed that creations, all creations, they live under one currency, and that is peace and harmony. But then, in the solar system or our own planet Earth, there are men who say, they're fighting each other because that's why they produce weapons of mass destruction. And this is what I spoke of as liability, inheritance of liability over liability again and again. And that liability is classified as, is within the what you call weapons, because the curriculums on which men do their studies says, an Indian man says, the wood is an enemy to every Indian. The Americans say, Islam is an enemy to our way of life. The Europeans say, the Islam is an enemy to our way of life. And they forget that Islam, I will try to, the reason why I point out these points, to make them clear to human beings, that many of you, I will say this before I go, that all living creations on planet Earth are Muslims, even including you, a Muslim, an Indian man, African man or woman or child. All of you, that people who live on planet Earth, you are Muslims. And every ocean on planet Earth is the religion Islam. Every drop of water that comes from the sky is religion, and its testimony is to say Islam is the most holy, beautiful religion. Why? This holy, eternal, living book of Allah, the Holy Quran, was embroidered over on planet Earth, and it is displayed as clouds, east to west, north to south, and in a canopy over you. And it is that it is coming down as rain to quench the thirst of men. So with that, it would be very, very wrong for men to continue on their liabilities whereby they spend trillions of dollars desecrating their genetics, rushing and running as fast as they can to open the door of the extinction of men from this planet, from Mother Planet Earth. So with that, that's why I always say to my people, creations, you are not supposed to have such feelings in your head that you are an enemy, either to a Chinese, or an African, or a European, or an American. You are all living Muslims. Because, I'll give you an example. One example before you have trees in your compounds, wherever you are on this planet Earth. There are trees, because trees, they took the Shahada before any man was created. With that Shahada means that a tree stands on a stem. And that stem, if you're to follow the European alphabetical characters and symbols, a tree's stem is a signature which says, or is a symbol which says I. Letter I. Letter I is a letter which says I. Which it points up is one a single letter with a dot at the top. And says, I, as a tree, I bear witness that there is no deity worth of worship except Allah. With that. And Islam is the most holy, beautiful religion. It says Islam, the letter I says Islam is the most holy, beautiful religion. Why? Me as a tree produces fruits, beautiful fruits with sugars that are very sweet. And on top of producing fruit, I will also produce nectar, in which a bee that pollinates whatever that mankind is, it makes honey. With that, my people, you are all Muslims. And whatever sustains every living human being are living creations which are their religion is Islam. So with that, my people, you are all living Muslims on planet Earth. Do not manufacture weapons. Do not engage in wars. And do not manufacture weapons as an inheritance or a liability inheritance to your children. If they survive this course of whatever that we are in right now, if they survive that whatever that is going on now, if you are lucky that you survive, make sure that weapons are things that you never allow men or women, especially never allow men to hold weapons or pass them on as liability, and saying to them, this is our advancement in knowledge. Knowledge means you work as a team. When you work as a team, you can build very beautiful things that really praises and glorifies the beauty of the region from which we are created. not weapons, that desecrates the beauty of life, the beauty of a fellow human being. Because if you are to use a ballistic missile, and that ballistic missile hits a block of flats whereby a mother who has a 3-month baby is killed by a ballistic missile, that desecrates any beauty of life between the mother and her child. With that, I beg, I'll use the word beg, because before Allah destroys the people, He warns them. He warns them. Allah says, be warned, men and women who are not warned. Be warned that there are consequences if a people prove that they are arrogant, treacherous, stupid and foolish, and drunk in foolishness. Allah erases those creations from existence.